Okay, so now we'll talk about social media and specifically Facebook. And I recommend a blog post that was recent on the Plexus Worldwide blog called How to Stay Out of Facebook Jail. And they have some strategies on there for ways to do things. The number one thing I would say, well, not the number one of the number one is to be natural and real. I've watched some people who say, I am not a salesman. And they join Plexus and suddenly they're a salesman. Their posts on Facebook suddenly become ads. And we've got to stay natural and real. You cannot put links in your actual post because if you do, Facebook counts that as an ad and they will shut you down. So put you in Facebook jail. And so don't put any links in your post. You can put a link in the comments, but don't do it every time. Don't always put a link in the comments because the minute people see that link for your website, they go, oh, well, she's just trying to sell stuff. But if all you do is a success story or something, and then that's it, they're saying they'll message you or they'll ask in the comments for a link. That's something called social proof. Other people will say, oh, well, she's going to buy it. And so it's not us pushing it out before them. It's okay every once in a while to give them your link, but not every single time, because then it looks like the only reason you ever post on Facebook is to sell something. That's basically how people are going to start feeling. So you need to keep those links in the comments. Don't try to make one post address everything. So you don't have to be well-rounded. Keep it simple and make this post just about, blood sugar. This one just about hormones or thyroid, and I know they're tied together, but don't, Slim does this and this and this, and you'll sleep better and you'll have more energy, and you'll go on and on and on. For one thing, people feel like they're being sold to if we go on and on and on. If we're just like, it's just too fabulous, they're like, yeah, right, And so if you'll keep it shorter and just about one thing, that's more effective. In fact, you could scroll back through my news feed over the last year, and I have a few posts that have a lot of comments, and it's people asking, and I've posted that, and I start getting messages and emails from people buying or joining. And sometimes I have no idea what it was about that post that did it, but it's a smart thing to look for the ambassadors that are successful and model them. If you have someone who's just started or they're not even silver yet and they've been an ambassador for 3 years, that's not the person to model. So go find people who are doing this well, and those are the people, and I say model, not copy. They're not going to care if you copy part of it, but you always have to put your own spin on it. Never share posts. Don't just hit the share button. Because if a bunch of people share it, Facebook will lump them all together into this one thing, and then it'll have so-and-so shared it, so-and-so shared it, so-and-so shared it. And so it's going to lose its effectiveness in the news feed. So click on the picture and download it to your computer and rename it so it doesn't get reloaded back up to Facebook, because they'll see that all these people are using this one same picture. And always add your own personal comment. This girl's on my team. My friend, my Facebook friend, or whatever, say something personal instead of just the testimony. Let's see. This is a perspective. What you are passionate about is irrelevant. Now, every once in a while, you're going to want to share, oh, this is so great. But if that's all you do is, OMG, Plexus is so awesome, people are like, they're going to roll their eyes because it's always all about you. There are certain people, you scroll through Facebook and every post is a selfie or all about what their day and what they're having for dinner, and they're so self-focused, and I got up and I have this Band-Aid and look at my cut and it's just bleeding, and they have pictures of blood and guts. That's all about them. And I know some people who are self-focused and they become an ambassador, and it's just like, oh, that's going to take some personal growth before they can have a lot of sales or have a team, because nobody follows somebody when it's all about them. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. You cannot complain and have drama on your Facebook and then turn around and post about Plexus. I have clicked on. I get a lot of friend requests from ambassadors that are random that I have no idea who they are because they've listened to something or something, and so I don't usually accept them if I don't know them because I don't want to fill up my friends list with ambassadors because I want to save that for people that I'm going to reach out to. And so a lot of times when I'll click on these ambassadors' profile and just go down through their news feed, all this drama and hateful and then Plexus is the next greatest thing. And you're just going, oh, because people still see all the drama and the negativity and the fights and all that. And so they're not going to buy Plexus from someone who's negative. Keep your joy and make it evident. It's a weapon. It's so unusual these days. And people are looking for someone who's positive and speaks life. They're looking for someone like that to follow. Even if you're going through a rough time, there are ways to phrase things that's not negative. Or to, and there's stuff, you just don't share it. You don't air your dirty laundry. Please don't talk about grown children or teenagers or kids in a negative way, because those kids are going to read it and it'll wound them and it'll cause bitterness. And so we just have to be careful what we share on Facebook. And especially, when you become a Plexus ambassador, and most of us use our personal profile to do our business, then you're a business. No, you don't have the freedom to air all your laundry and to dump your feelings and I need support and encouragement. Could someone, it's okay to ask for prayer when you're driving on icy roads. I mean, people are glad to do that. But if it's a constant, I need prayer, then this is not going to work for your business. Now, when you're real, people will connect with you. You want to lead with the things that concern other people when you're posting about Plexus. And so it would be a really great thing to get a Post-it note and put it right by your desk or wherever you are that says it's not about me. To remind yourself, when we're writing, I really try to use we a lot in Facebook posting. I try not to use I a whole lot because when it's I, people pick up on that. Because you're thinking about yourself. An important thing is to pray over your post before you click post. When it's a business, a Plexus thing you really want to reach people with, and especially if it's an uncomfortable post, it's really hard for you to be vulnerable and share these details or to be honest, those are the posts that get the most response. The ones that have been the hardest for me to click post. And of course, I'm not sharing dirty details or complaining about my husband or something. I'm not telling secrets of our marriage or something, I'm not talking about that kind of post. Just the kind where it's like, just something that is a little personal and, makes me feel vulnerable. I'm afraid somebody might post something ugly back. Those are the most effective posts because I bared my heart and I was real. But I do pray over those. And I'm not above going back and deleting a post. If it doesn't get any engagement, I think, I must have triggered something. Nobody, very little likes or comments, I'll go back and delete it. Because I triggered something in people. They picked up on something. We want to speak life into people. And we're actually loving people through business with Plexus. That's what we're doing with this business. Your timeline should tell a story, and it's the story of your life. So if someone goes to your timeline and scrolls down through all your posts, they should see the story of your life. Do not make it ads. That sticks out like a sore thumb. Now, it's one thing, some people are, like I have a fellow ambassador who's a genius health person, and she shares articles about health, and that's okay sometimes, and talk about ingredients or things like that. That's just educating and serving people by doing that. But I'm talking about, ads. Even when the company has a promotion, like, free shipping, that serves people to share that with them. Don't feel like, I don't want them to think I'm trying to sell them stuff. They're going to be so mad when that free shipping's over and you didn't tell them about it. So you're serving people. But if you can make your own graphic or something, or use no graphic, don't just share, or the same graphic everybody else is using, because it's just going to go over them. Do not have Plexus graphic as your profile picture. People connect with people. They want to see your face. And your header should be something, picture your kids or whatever, because you don't want someone to go to your timeline and it screams, Plexus, I'm all about it. You know, they can see over here on the, you know, that you're a Plexus ambassador on your little what you do for a living, and they're going to look down and see you have some posts about it and stuff. It looks desperate, and people feel that desperation. Who are we thinking of when we're desperate? I need to make some money. I want to build a team. And people feel it. And I do not know how it works. It's a spiritual principle that even what's in our hearts comes out on Facebook. Social media bears it all. And we think we can hide it and think no one will know, but it comes out. But when we come from a place of who needs these products, whose health could be changed, and even stop and think that before you write a post, then that feels that way too. And you know what? You're probably always going to have some people who are going to be negative or say something, but are they really your friends? And if they're family, block them. I mean, you know, it's their issue. It's not ours. And we let this person hold us back. I wrote a post in my team group last week. I went to a funeral in Arkansas for my husband's uncle, and he was a wonderful man. There were 4 young men at that funeral that were named after him. But it was a cold, icy, snowy day, and he was 88, and there were very few people there besides a lot of family. And it reminded me of a statistic I heard that the number one factor on whether people are going to come to your funeral is the weather. And so we are so afraid of what people are going to think of us on Facebook and stuff. And these people aren't even going to come to our funeral if it's raining. And we're so worried about what these people are going to think. They're not going to cry when we die. So, and you know what? They're probably not even thinking about us that much. They might make some snarky comment on our post, but they don't spend the rest of their day going, oh, I can't believe she's selling Plexus and doing that. They don't think that much about us. And so don't let that hold you back. You know, it's their deal. It's their issue. And if somebody does say something, I've had some people say, you know, a snarky comment, and it almost makes me want to laugh because they look dumb. It doesn't make me look bad. I respond kindly and intelligently. I've had other people rush in to defend me that aren't even Plexus customers, and that person ends up looking dumb. If you respond like an adult, now if you start getting into drama, you just, you know, cut your own throat. But so don't let them run your life. People are nosy. They want to see what's going on in your life. They want to see your pictures and, you know, have your posts about what you're doing and stuff like that. And so if all you are is Plexus, 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 then they're gonna quit following you because you're boring. People follow people who are positive, and they follow people who are convinced of what they believe. This is a big thing for new ambassadors that, oh, I don't know, I'm not, you know, I haven't lost any weight yet. I don't know if these products work. I don't know about this. They don't have the belief, and so when they post on Facebook, that comes across. It triggers things in other people like, ooh, she's not too sure about this. But when you get someone who completely throws it out there, I don't care what you think, this stuff works. They're like, oh, really? You know, you never know who's watching. I have had people who didn't like, comment, do anything, and months later they'll say, I've been watching you for months. Where do I buy this? I've had people who quit after a month or two who come back. I just had a lady that emailed me today who tried Plexus Slim one day and insisted that it did all this stuff to her, and she sent it back, and I was like, okay. She wrote me today, it's had all these surgeries, and she said, I found out I had this and this and this, what can I take? It's like, really? But it's awesome because I was kind when she quit, and I'm not attached to it. Don't take the emotion out of it when people quit or when they don't buy from you. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. It makes me sad because I want it for them. But don't go spend all this emotional energy of, oh, they quit, you know, because that's desperation. That's not believing that God's going to vindicate and God's going to increase you and put favor on you, you know. And so just take the emotion out of it and hold it lightly. And you wouldn't believe how many people come back. You wouldn't believe how many I've had unhappy customers join as an ambassador. Like they're unhappy it doesn't work. And I email back to them and I talk to them about what's going on. I give them a link to Lori Harrison's video about fungus. And they write back and say, well, okay, how do I join? And so we have to let them know it's their issues, it's not ours. Okay. All right, so social media reveals everything. Out of the mouth and social media comes our heart. So it's going to show up, which is why it's so important that we know what we believe. Do not wake up in the morning worrying about bothering people or intruding on them. Because like I said, they're really not thinking about you that much. That is actually a belief system about yourself and about lack. We think that we don't deserve to do well in the business. We think that people aren't going to believe us. We think all kinds of things, and our belief system comes out. When we are so worried about being vulnerable and we're so, I'm going to bother people, that's really self-focused. That's really just thinking about us and so worried that we're going to be embarrassed or uncomfortable. Whereas if we turn it around and think, who is not going to hear about Plexus because I'm worrying about what others think? What person their health is going to fail on all these prescriptions because I was too embarrassed to admit that I'm doing Plexus as a business? And who will silently struggle with their finances because I was afraid to be vulnerable and so I never brought it up to them? I was afraid they would think it was dumb. I don't know about you, but I am so glad that a year ago, Brenda Martin, mom of 11, got over herself and started posting about Plexus on Facebook. That's why I am where I am right now. I didn't know Brenda. She was a stranger, but I wanted to order from her because I liked how she posted on Facebook. Tells you what a powerful tool it is and what your Facebook posts can do.